Manzoni, I know him from many years.
Since we were young, you both.
Absolutely. I played his work, Mass.
Yes, I remember.
Mass that was performed, and also a recording existed with the Sinopoli and the Berlin Philharmonic. And I heard many of his pieces, of course, Ombre, dedicated to the memory of Che Guevara, Parole da Beckett, words by Beckett, Hölderlin. I just name a few ones that I heard. An opera, an important opera, Dr. Faustus, on the Thomas Mann book, which is one of the most important work by Manzoni. So there is, I followed his creation in different years.
And also we have Nicolas Hodges.
Hodges, in the Manzoni piece at the first. That I played this Manzoni, beautiful Manzoni piece in Lucerne last year and in Paris. It's a piece for voice and some instrument. The piano has especially some interlude between the various poems that are sung by the soprano. Beautiful poems by certain different authors, Russian and German. Yes. My relation with Sciarrino is always have a lot of time, because I listened to one of his almost first work, the Amore Psiche, that was performed in La Piccola Scala in Milano. Is an opera that the writing of this opera was astonishing me, and I was sure that a new, very important and interesting composer was found. And then, obviously, I heard many pieces by him going on up to the. He wrote various opera recently, Macbeth, Di Gelo in Gelo, and his way of writing also changed. It was more. It has more events, perhaps, in the first period, and now more perhaps more he thinks more depth and very sparse element of creation, but very strong.
Speaking of operas, one of the operas by Sciarrino is dedicated to your wife, I remember.
I know.
Yes. It's also a beautiful piece as well. Yes. So.
And this piece is astonishing, because it's the name is Carnival, and it should be combined with many madrigals.
Yes.
But in Tokyo will be performed only 2 madrigals. Should be the end of the piece. 2 madrigals on Chinese fragments of poems, and a piece for piano and about 10 instruments that will be played, as I told you, by Daniele, my son, who is the Klang Forum of Wien. That is a wonderful ensemble of musicians, and I think it will. The Japanese public will be astonished at listening to this very original, extraordinary personal music. My relation of Lachenmann started more recently. I was part of a commission to his work Double, which is a is a version, a different version of the quartet that will be performed in Japan, the third quartet, whose name is Grido, and the double is a work, is not a transcription of Grido for great orchestra, but is a work inspired by Grido, a new version of the same piece, a new version different and with the ties with the other piece. Double was a work that of which I was very impressed, very much impressed. And this was my first meeting with this composer, of which I heard recently many other works like Schreiben, like Concertini, and many other. His own great originality. But in this composer there is as I try to tell you, the will to go between the limits and to be really new, not to repeat anything from the past, but to find new ways of language, of expression. This is something that is true for every composer that will be present.